In 2019, we did not have charts. In 2019, we had the concept of staking, but we didn't really know that HEX was going to be around a year or 2 years or 3 years or 5 years. And to stake something 15 years out as a novel concept inside of something that has so many projects go to zero because of bad code or bad design or bad founder, to put a stake out there was a brave position in 2019. And so I remember a lot of people, whether they short staked or they said, hey, I want to have cash coming out on a daily basis because, I need to make sure that I get my $40 every day, so that I'm going to be rich because I get $40 out of crypto every day. There's people that have stakes that go 15 years with almost daily stakes coming out. Like there are people hexagons that have that. And when you look at the transaction cost that Ethereum ramped up as far as price, you see that that's not sustainable as far as the transaction cost. So sadly, a lot of HEX stakes are just going to melt away. And my point is, the guys that I know that have those kinds of stakes, they repositioned themselves. They started new stakes and they didn't keep it private. And they told other people, here's how I messed up. Here's how I would have done it again. And here's the new stuff that I've learned that I'm right shoulder by shoulder with you coming into this ecosystem, right? There's benefit in us, not being wildly, crazily separate from the new guy that just learns about it tomorrow. Like I would rather spend my time educating someone that comes in and has a better yield than I ever have, I think even at this price point, like some people can be like, oh man, I should have sold at 50 cents. I would have maxed out. Now I want to be quiet about it because I don't want this other guy to, push the price against me because I'm trying to, save up on a monthly basis and buy more HEX before they can get it so that I can sell it at a profit. Like, we're telling people things that in other systems would be against our best interest. In my opinion, like I tell people now, especially shorter than 6 months, don't do it. Save up a bigger pile of money and do 6 month long, because do you really need that capital as a speculation coming out sooner than that? Do you really, because if you manage your finances, in my opinion, if you manage your finances reasonably and you say, okay, my rent is $2,000 per month. So every 6 months I need 12 grand, right? Every 1 year I need 24 grand or whatever it might be. My car payment is this. My health insurance is this. Here's how much that I eat. If people actually sit down and do a budget of what they actually need, they can build a plan around that. I live off of credit. I don't even spend like HEX or crypto value because I know in my opinion, how undervalued it is at the moment. And I want that yield to continue to compound. And I want those big numbers, right? But I have access to capital and have access to real estate to support me. And I have access to skill set that I can sell into a marketplace. I have access to options. And everyone HEX should continue building their skill set, not pull the parachute ripcord as soon as they possibly think that they might, at a bare minimum, be able to retire. Like, I think that you should continue to accrue skills, build community, have a plan, right? I love that shirt. It's a great shirt. Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
You know how I feel about the product. Same way.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say, so I was talking to Gunther the other day, and he had an interesting one just on your point about, you prefer no less than 6 month stakes. He was talking about he has ladder stakes for 250,000 HEX every quarter coming out, and basically that's how he retired. But of course, he accumulated a lot of that HEX beforehand and things like that. Yeah. Is that a way you can live on HEX? Of course, you're selling it and you're paying for expenses and stuff, but the price goes up and down, but still 250,000 HEX, even at 3 or 4 cents, that's still enough to live in a lot of cities, right?
Yeah, and so I think people should continue in Western United States or Western world. build your personal credit, have your personal credit. Don't use it for consumerism. Build an 800 score. Once you have an 800 score set up, you can do it for free, a sole proprietorship. That's an entity. The entity will reference when you get funding for that entity or an LLC or a C corporation, but a sole prop is the cheapest. Then the creditors, the underwriters will give you capital. They will give you capital to do something productive, right? So, okay, I'm going to have a service. I'm going to have a good. I'm going to set up Airbnbs. I'm going to buy a supercar or rent a supercar that I can put on Uber or not on Uber, on Turo, right? There's different platforms that you can actually generate income from building a personal credit that leads to business credit and deliver a service or good to a population that is asking for it and will pay you for it, right? Richard even makes this comment. He talks about like, if you know enough about something, like his example is top hat. He likes a top hat that has a certain curve and a certain weight, a certain type of material. And, once you know what you like and why you like it, then you're a reasonable representative of that product, right? You're a reasonable representative. And, there's never been an easier time than to be successful through your cell phone, ever. There's never been as easy of a time as you have. Build a consultant business about something that has nothing to do with crypto. Engage an audience that has nothing to do with crypto. I talk about this with Jim Rat Crypto and any of the guys that are in any kind of talent set that they are building themselves or knowledge base that they already have. Capitalize on it, because you're reaching an audience that has nothing to do with HEX, nothing to do with crypto, and they will eventually be curious enough to participate in your own investment pool as well, right? So, yeah.
Definitely. No, great.
I mean, 1 million every quarter, that's fine. That's great. Good. I'm happy that he's going to get yield out of his investment. But also, he has a skill set. Gunther has a skill set that has, charts and narratives and consultancy or whatever he can do. And it doesn't even have to be promoting HEX or crypto. It could be any other kind of charting he can look at and show people. And he can build all kinds of income around that has nothing to do with selling down the price if he chooses to. Everybody wants to retire, and crypto can retire you, and it should retire you. It's the whole point of investing in it in the first place. I'm just saying that, it doesn't have to be the first thing that you sell as the performing asset to support yourself.